Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metal Summit 2019 here in Zurich. And now with me here is Condor Golden. Mark Child, the CEO, wants to give us an update on his terrific path to production. Welcome, Mike.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. I think it's exactly 1 year ago. We met us in London, Mines and Money. So a lot of good things happened so far. And let's start with the financing. You raised some money in a difficult market again.
Yes, we've had two financings this year. We raised money in January and in July. And we've raised a total of $7 million US.
Perfect. And that's enough now to really progress further towards production. So what's the status 2019? What have you achieved, let's say, according permits? What else have you put together? Because you really want to go in production, right?
That's correct. So we have 2.4 million ounces of gold. Half of that is open pit, half is underground, half is indicated, half's inferred. In the indicated, we've got a permit to construct and operate the mine, as you say. So we were granted the permit last year, and the use of that $7 million is to de-risk the project, buy all the land. We bought about 35% of the land so far. We're buying about 1,000 hectares of land, so all the surface rights off the farmers there, 55. I've doubled the land acquisition team. We have 4 lawyers full time. We've got offers out to everybody. I go once a month to Nicaragua. I've just come back, so we'll lock down the land. That's a key for us. We're then doing the engineering studies for the tailing storage facility. The government want that fully engineered and signed off ahead of construction. It's a sensitive area these days of tailings. And the water management system, where we've assigned a contract for someone to fully engineer that as well. That's dams and things so the pit doesn't flood. We've already had approval for a couple of the studies, the sewage and water usage by the office and accommodation block. We've completed the mine schedules, waste dump schedules. So there are about 10 conditions in the permit that we need to do before construction. And they're mainly buying the land and doing all the engineering studies. And we're kind of like halfway through those, if you like. A big de-risk for us.
That's fantastic. Great. And of course, you have the money to really go high speed on everything. That is fantastic.
That's right. That's what we said to people when we raised the money. It's unexciting. So shareholders go, well, what are you doing? It's not great drill results, or it's not.
I mean, you have enough already,
else.
right?
We do, but we're going through that work that's essential ahead of constructing a mine, and do all the engineering studies basically. So we're working through that.
And I saw in your presentation like a base case, then like a development case, or let's say a larger case for the production.
Yes.
So with what do you really want to start finally? Is it, let's say, the first 80,000 ounces per annum and then to enlarge it as fast as possible? Or what is the case now you want to start with the production?
Right. Well, we're permitted from a single pit, Landier open pit, and that can produce 600,000 ounces. We can either do that in 6 years, 100,000 ounces of gold a year, or we can do it in 7.5 years at 80,000. We'll probably do the quicker one with gold where it is. Okay. We're also trying to make the project, but the pre-feasibility study said 80,000. So we're now putting in permits for high-grade feeder pits, and those will go in the next 10 days. And that'll make the project increase it from the PFS level of 80 to 120,000 ounces of gold per annum for 7 years, so 50% bigger. And that should be quite straightforward because, should be. You never know in Nicaragua, but we've already permitted the processing plant and the tailings and the explosives and the mine site infrastructure. So you're just adding in feeder pits and the roads and so on. So those go in, and that application goes in the next 10 days.
Okay, super. So how much money do you need then finally to bring that thing in production, let's say in the first scenario, I would call it?
Right. Well, we're looking in terms of the production scenarios, there are 3 production scenarios to get us early cash flow. One is toll refining, and I've mentioned this before, and we had samples taken by B2Gold earlier this year. They sampled it themselves to check whether the metallurgy or the ore was good in their mills. It was too hard or too soft, and we had 95% metallurgical recovery. Calibre has paid $100 million US to buy those assets in Nicaragua. They only closed on that deal last month. The shares traded on the 21st of October. They're wrapping their arms around that deal. they've closed one of their ball mills at La Libertad, or they've idled it for 2,000 tons a day. So there's spare capacity there.
So that you can deliver the order.
We could toll refine to them. Now, that's still a possibility, but with any negotiation, any thing that has to, both parties have to agree to those terms. But I think it would make economic sense for us and economic sense for them. It gets us into production and cash flow early without any capex. So that's one way to get produced gold.
That's
Use someone else's mine.
Okay.
And we could take, of our permitted pit, we could take, of 600,000 production, we could take 10% of that out, at high grade at 4 grams. So, and there's enough for everybody to make money on it. And they're here at this conference. You might well have interviewed them. I'm unsure. But
I met them in Munich.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Last week. Last week. Okay,
Saturday.
great.
Saturday, Sunday.
But they've only just acquired it, so they're aware of us, and so that's why. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The second thing is that we can say the upfront, the 120,000 ounce per annum scenario of open pit only will cost $120 million. That's quite dilutive to shareholders. So we're looking at scenarios of, do we do that in 2 phases? Can we use that high grade scenario for toll refining at over 4 grams? And I've mentioned we got 2 feeder pits at 5.5 grams that we're permitting. Can we high grade that area and do a smaller plant? So what can we put up for 30, 40 million US dollars? That's an easier bite size to raise money for in today's market. For gold's good, but for development, everybody's waiting to see what you do. So we could do it in 2 phases, and under that scenario, we think we could produce 45, 50,000 ounces of gold. It would throw out $15 to $20 million of cash flow. We could fund that via a gold loan, via debt, via stream, a minimal equity dilution. So as a 5% shareholder, the last thing I want to do is see big amount of stock being issued. So we're looking at that very carefully at the moment. And the other alternative is just to go straight for the big project.
Yeah, that's right. Super.
But that's very dilutive.
Timing-wise, what do you think?
We've got another 6 months of these essential but rather boring part of de-risking the project, which is buying all the land, fully engineering the tailings, and several other studies that we're doing. We've got another 6 months of that. And then I think the project will be, shovel ready, 9 months.
Okay,
and we
super.
could break ground or clear ground. So we're in parallel. That's an objective. We're pushing it as far as we can.
Of course.
And getting it ready ahead of a construction decision, if you like. Which one of those construction routes do we do? And who knows, gold could be 30% higher by then, or it might.
That's all possible.
So we have to keep businessmen. We've got to keep our options open slightly. We have a new shareholder that came in July, Nicaragua Milling Company, and Randy Martin behind that has built 3 mines in Nicaragua and 5 in the region. So he wants to see early cash flow. And we're talking with him about, okay, how do we get that up without minimum dilution?
Fantastic. So I would say everything is in good shape. You're full on track.
Yes.
And probably, let's say 2021, hopefully, there's the full commercial production.
I would say so, yes, definitely, along that timeline.
That's a good prospect. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Mike Child, the CEO of Condor Gold, and you heard it, the company is progressing very well, de-risking the project, and several optionality on how to start the production from toll milling to a larger pit to a smaller pit. So everything is on the table here, and hopefully the next 12 months everything goes the way how Mark wanted it, and we see 2021 commercial production out of Nicaragua. Thanks for watching us, and bye bye from Zurich.